Frugal Tips video style. I'm going to be switching it up this week. We're not going to be doing the usual 10 ways to use household items. I've been getting a lot of emails and comments lately asking me how to go about menu planning. A lot of you are frustrated with it and can't seem to make it work. I have touched on it before in my video style Share Your Savings Saturday way back when, but I wanted to go into more detail and kind of show you how to put it into action, how to make it work for you. So here we go with menu planning. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is why on earth do we menu plan? I do it personally for 3 reasons, and here's why I think you should as well. 1, it's nutritious. 2, it's frugal. And 3, it saves you time. It's nutritious because you have your weekly menu plan all laid out and you have your meals ready to go. And so most of your meals are going to be a lot more wholesome than it would be if you didn't have meals planned. You might be grabbing like a bag of chips on the go or something like that. It's frugal because when you have your menu all laid out and you know exactly what you're going to buy and you take the list with you to the grocery store, you're not going to end up overspending or impulse buying nearly as much. And it saves you time both in the kitchen and at the store, because when you're in the kitchen, you're not having to sit around thinking, what am I going to make tonight? You already have your menu ready to go, and it saves you time at the store because you just go that one time to get everything you need, and you're not constantly saying, oh man, I got to run to the store to get this that you forgot, you know, because you weren't planned, you didn't have everything ready. Now that we've talked about the why of menu planning, I want to talk to you about how to menu plan. The first thing you do is you establish a time frame for yourself. You have to decide how often can you realistically get to the store. It might be once a week, it might be once every 2 weeks, it might even be once a month. For me personally, I like to plan my menus for 1 week at a time for 2 reasons. First of all, produce goes bad usually within about a week, and I buy a lot of produce. And the second reason is that the sales change on a weekly basis, and I like to be able to hit all the sales and take advantage of them. So now that you have your time frame, the next thing we're going to do is plan our actual menu. The biggest thing you need to plan a menu is your recipes. So where do you get your recipes? Really anywhere. You can get them from cookbooks you have on hand. You can check them out for free at the library. You can use the web as a great resource. One of my favorite websites is allrecipes.com. There's tons of websites out there that can help you out. Magazines that you subscribe to are great as well. And over time, you know, in the beginning this might be a little overwhelming if you've never done this, but over time you'll get a nice collection of go-to recipes that you can throw in your rotation. It gets easier and easier as time goes on. So how do you go about picking out which recipes are best? First of all, you definitely want to take into consideration the diet needs of your family, the preferences of your family, that kind of thing. But what I want to talk about on this video is planning your menu around what you already have on hand and what's on sale. First, I want to talk about planning your menu based off what you have on hand. I think this is one of the most important parts of menu planning because I think the more that you can plan your menu based off what you already have at home, the less you have to spend at the store, which saves you the more money. We're not going to be talking about coupons or sales cycles or stockpiling or anything like that. This video is just about saving money by menu planning and nothing else. So, how do you plan a menu based off what you have on hand? You basically just go to the fridge and the pantry and the freezer, see what you have, and plan your menu. This is where having that collection of go-to recipes really comes in handy because it makes it a lot easier. You can go to the pantry, see an item, and immediately a recipe pops in your mind. So by now this is a fairly short process for me, whereas in the beginning it does take a little more time. But let me give you some examples from my menu this past week. I use this little notepad, and I on this side I write down all my recipes for the week. And then on this side you can write down the ingredients you need. So let's just take the black bean and corn couscous for example. I decided to make that this week because I had a lot of boxes of couscous already in the pantry, and I had lots of black beans. And there's also corn in it, which I had in the freezer, so pretty much all I had to buy for that was 1 lime. The wild rice casserole, I had the wild rice in the pantry already. I had all the veggies I already needed. The only thing I had to buy for that was a thing of mushrooms. The Cuban black bean soup, again, I had the black beans and all the spices I needed for that. The quesadillas, I had the tortillas for. And so you can kind of see how this works. So just plan your menu based off what you have on hand, and that's the first step in menu planning that helps you save money a lot. So once you plan your menu based off what you have on hand, the other thing to take into consideration is what's on sale this week. For example, this same menu that I just showed you, let's see, for the spaghetti, I bought the buy one get one free pasta and the buy one get one free spaghetti sauce. So that was a recipe that I planned based off what was on sale. And there were some other things in here. I bought a lot of cans of tomatoes, a lot of cans of black beans with the Italian sale, a lot of cans of corn, and all of those I could use in this week's menu. So that's basically the 2 steps in planning your menu: what you have on hand and what's on sale. Okay, to avoid having to re-record an entire section, I just thought of something that's extremely important that goes back with the section on planning with what you have on hand. On that website, allrecipes.com, there is a great tool that really helps you out in the beginning. It's the ingredients tool, and you can type in ingredients that you have on hand and press search, and it will pull up all the recipes that have those ingredients. So that is a great tool for beginners that are trying to plan menus based off what you already have on hand at home. Okay, so once you have your menu plan, you just make your list of everything that you need that you don't already have, and you go to the store with your list in hand and you buy only what's on your list. That's the biggest key. If you have to stop yourself from impulse buying, shop with an envelope of a designated amount of cash to stick to your grocery budget. The last thing I want to talk about, though, is if you notice on my menu, I only plan my dinners. For breakfast and lunch, we just basically wing it. For breakfast, we do a lot of cereal, oatmeal, fruit, smoothies, bagels, and all that stuff you can get for sale anytime pretty much. So I just save that up, and we pretty much always have something for breakfast. Lunches is pretty much the same thing. Like we might have PB&J or egg salad sandwiches, just different things like that, cheese and crackers. So we pretty much wing the breakfast and lunch portions, but I do like to have my dinners fully planned out for the week. So I hope you've learned a lot on this week's video for those of you who were wondering about menu planning, and I hope that this really helped you out and that hopefully you can move forward and do well with the menu planning. And I'm being really wordy and rambling, so I better say goodbye for this week, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I'll answer all your questions. See you next time. Bye-bye.